Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well. So as we know, fake makeup is a thing. It is a dangerous thing. It is a huge thing, and it is a hugely dangerous thing. For a few reasons. For one big reason, the biggest reason is what's put into these fake makeup products. A lot of ingredients we don't know. They can be harmful. A lot of them are made overseas, in countries overseas that aren't necessarily regulated. They can cause you to break out, cause damage to your skin, eyes, different things, and that's the biggest issue. Despite, you know, faking something that's legit, and these brands and companies are losing money and different things like that. Yes, that's all important, but the danger is really important. But anyway, I'm coming to you with another fake palette to real palette comparison, and today it's going to be the Huda Beauty textured eyeshadow palette, the rose gold edition. I think this is the only edition. I love this palette. Hope she comes out with more editions. Yeah, so the biggest difference in fake makeup is the price. I searched for my fake palettes on eBay. This Huda Beauty palette, I do have the real one, and I'm gonna compare it. The Huda Beauty palette retails for $65 on the Huda Beauty website. I got mine at Sephora. They have the Huda Beauty website, Sephora. I think those are the only two places that sell it right now. I got mine in store at Sephora, but Sephora.com sells it $65. I love this palette, but it took a long time for me to pull the trigger on this one. $65 for this palette, okay? My fake one, I got this off of eBay for $6 free shipping. $6, or like $6.99, I'm sorry. Free shipping. So the first thing I like to do is we're going to go ahead and compare the packaging. The packaging, again, for this palette is up on the wall on my canvas, so I'll go ahead and take you to that now. Okay, I actually pulled the canvas off the wall so it's easier for us to see. Here is the legit Huda Beauty box, and here's the fake one. Not much to compare here. Here's the fake one, because they're almost identical. The only thing I will say is the eyeshadow on the real one is a lot more defined and metallic. However, I don't know what else, you guys. Let me know. Okay, so as you can see, the front packaging is very, very similar to each other. I will say that the eyes, the shadow on these eyes is definitely not metallic and not reflective as the original, the legit one. But everything else looks really, really good. I glued the back on, but we can compare the back of the actual palette versus the packaging, which looks the same. Yeah, so here's my... Ooh, it's a little messy, a little dirty. Here's my real one. I love this palette. This is a legit one again, $65 at Sephora. We're going to go ahead and open up the fake one. You slide it out just like you would slide the original out. So here's the fake one. Okay, and at first glance, we already have some situations. So I'm going to put the fake one on top, okay? So the fake one is on top. The legit one is on the bottom. Check out the writing. On the bottom, it's much smaller. The font is much smaller. It says the same thing, but the font is definitely much smaller. The fake palette is a smidgen thicker. It's a smidgen thicker on the spine here. But the words are definitely huge. Font looks like it's replicated, but the size is definitely larger. Okay? We're going to go ahead and look at the front of the palette. The front of the palette, you can see here on the legit one, the frame out here is much thinner than this frame here. You can see, look at that. Look how thick that frame is compared to the legit one. Also, look at the top. The legit Huda Beauty is centered. It's centered here very nicely. This one, not so much. All right. So you definitely can see differences already. However, I'm like I said before with my Modern Renaissance, these aren't necessarily legit differences if you did not own the palette. Like if you never saw the palette in person, which this palette is very hard to see in person. Not many Sephoras carry it in person. I actually had to get mine from the Sephora all the way in New York City. The one on like 34th Street, the brand new Sephora. Yeah. So if you've never seen it in person or close enough to know these differences, okay, So anyway, the frame. Let's go to the back of it before we go inside. Which the back, they did a pretty damn good job. Honestly, I'm looking. Yeah, it's very, very, very similar. Like, this is the legit one. And here's the fake one. Completely legit. I didn't scan over it too hard to see if everything was spelled correctly, but it looks really good. It does. It really does. Social medias are there. I noticed that maybe the words are a little bit lower, but I mean, I'm being petty. Like that, the back is really good. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll dive into these palettes now. So here is the legit palette. Let me take them. I'm just opening it up now because, again, reflecting off my ring light is annoying. All right. So we have the shades here. This is the legit one I've used. I love, as you can see. Let's look at the names of the shades. Look at the font. That's the real one. Also, the fake one does not bend all the way back. It does not bend all the way back. Maybe it's because it's fresh, but did I just rip it? A little bit. Anyway, okay. So the font here, let's go ahead and get both of these in. The font here, the real one is here on the right. The words are, the letters on the fake one are a little bit spread out, that's not a word, far apart, while these are closer together, and the legit ones are a little bit more metallic. I already went ahead and looked. Everything is still spelled correctly, because you know how sometimes on the fake ones, the words could change, which is interesting to me. The shade names could be misspelled, which is interesting and lazy. Anyway, yeah, so also the pans aren't as neat. This is the legit one, neat and lined up and things like that. This one here, they're a little wobbly. You can see that. You can see like how they're just not as neat in the corners and neat in the palette. You can see that. All right, comparing shades. I'm going to be completely honest with you. The shade comparison, let me lift my camera up. The shade comparison looks pretty legit. We're going to swatch, but in the pans, they look like the same ones. I would say hashtag blessed here is a little orangier. Is a little orangier than the original blessed. But we have some good things here. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to turn the camera back around to me, and I'm going to go ahead and begin swatching. We'll swatch and chit chat. All right. Now, the original Huda Beauty palette, the pigmentation is great. I have a video using this palette. I'll link it down below. I have my review on it. If you want to see that, I'll link that as well. But, yeah. So, what the textured eyeshadow part of this palette is, the textured eyeshadow part, they're these creamy, metallic-y, glittery, whatever. Let me just swatch Dubai for you from the legit palette. I can't really explain it. It's a cream, again, textured, metallic-y situation. Beautiful. Okay? Beautiful. They feel, not mousse-like, but they feel very, I guess I would do cream-like. Let me get a wipe here. And again, I'm going to swatch these on my skin. I do not have sensitive skin. Let's pray that I don't have any reactions to these. And I'm going to be honest with you. I've used fake makeup before, ignorantly, like not knowing it was fake or what have you. And I've had no issues. And I'm not trying to brag. And I know it's always something that can happen. But I'm just telling you from my personal experience, I don't really react to, my skin doesn't react to pretty much anything. Like I could put probably tar on my skin. It just does not. However, this is the point, like the fake makeup, like I don't recommend this because it has dangerous chemicals in it. But I am going to swatch. Not for you guys, but more so for my own curiosity. I bought it. I'm going to swatch them. I'm not afraid to swatch them. But anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and compare some swatches. So let's do, well, you guys saw Dubai. I'll put that back. Good Dubai. All right. Definitely, this is where the difference is in. So look, I'm going to show you something. Look at the real Dubai. See how it's textured? You can see how that looks like a cream in the pan. Like, I could legit, like, push it around a little bit. Like it's a creamy thing. All right. This fake palette, oh my God. Where is Dubai? This is straight powder. It's just a straight metallic-y. Look at that. It's just a soft eyeshadow. So I'll swatch it. Not really pigmented, but you can tell the difference once I show you. Once I show you, this palette is called Textured Eyeshadow Palette. So, colors are kind of similar. Good Dubai is on top, bad Dubai is on the bottom. Do you see that? This is literally just like a metallic eyeshadow. It's a metallic eyeshadow, which kudos to Huda, because some fakes are really legitly dupes in the sense of the texture is the same and things like that. It's just bad ingredients or what have you. But this is kudos to Huda, because this is not something, the textured shadows are clearly not something they can replicate. Let me go with another one. I'm gonna go to the next textured shadow, which is called Fling. And I'm gonna do that one. Now, Fling in the fake palette has a little more texture. Check that out. You see how it's kind of flaky? It has a little more texture. Oh, good Fling is on the top, bad Fling is on the bottom. That one is a little bit more believable. What can we do with that? That's a little bit more believable, you guys. I am not advocating, and I'm not going to link where I bought this because I'm not promoting buying fake makeup. However, you can go on eBay and search them if you're legit curious like me and like to compare. So let's go ahead with 24K. One of my favorites. One of my favorites. This texture is like legit gold flakes, yo. Again, this 24K, not as textured in the fake palette. Same shade, but definitely not as textured. Look at that. You guys, if I didn't know and I wasn't as educated on this type of stuff, I legit thought I had a Huda Beauty palette, y'all, with some of these shades. Okay. All right. I'm trying one more textured, which is Rose Gold. Oh, another one of my favorites. Another one of my favorites. Let's do their Rose Gold. Yeah, their Rose Gold is definitely not as textured. Same shade, but this is more of a metallic shadow, not a textured shadow. Do you see that? Good one on the top. Good one on the top. So that's that. I don't know. Although I am pretty impressed with the quality of this fake palette. I'm definitely impressed, and I don't know why. Like I'm surprised because yeah. All right, let's go down to the mattes. I want to do this matte black because Black Truffle in the Huda Beauty palette is one of the blackest blacks I own eyeshadow-wise. It's one of the blackest blacks. Look at that. It's like powdered ink. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and swatch that. It's a matte shadow. It's not one of the textured ones. I'm going to go ahead and swatch that on my skin. Good, good. Wipe my fingers off. Let's go into this black in the fake palette. Definitely not as smooth. Whew, still just as black though. Definitely not as smooth. It's not as smooth or finely milled as the legit one. However, it looks good on the finger, but it's that top one is just a little blacker. That makes any sense. You see this? Very close though. However, I can tell this eyeshadow, I don't want to say it's a cheaper quality, not by any means, but compared to the legit palette, it's just not as finely milled and not as soft. Not as soft as like a Lorac shadow, these Huda Beauty ones, but definitely. Okay, let's do Man Eater, which is that deep brick red shade. I'm going to go into the legit palette. This is what it looks like. I'm going to swatch that on my hand. Okay. Wipe my finger off. Let's go into the fake Man Eater. Definitely I can tell now is not as good. Yeah. Some shades are just hard to replicate. Look at that. That's the real one's on the top. Definitely not as good. Not as good. I'll do one more. Let's go with Henna. That nice warm terracotta brown. Let's go ahead into that. Legit palette. That's what it looks like. Okay. Pretty shade. Gotta pull this palette right back out and use it. Henna. The quality of the fake henna is actually softer. I mean, just as soft as the legit one. Softer than the other shadows. However, the shade is a little off upon swatch. In the pan, they look the same, but check that out. Real one's on the top. So you guys are getting the idea of this. It's hard. I'm going to tell you guys something now, and this is just Candace speaking for real. I've been wanting to buy these and use these. And I'm going to be honest with you. If I knew, like, the ingredient, like, let's say it was just some, I don't want to say counterfeit company, but, like, if I knew there was a company that was in America that was just legit making fakes with high-quality ingredients for cheaper prices, I'd probably be all on it. I'm not lying to you. But those dangerous ingredients in there is what deter you off. And, like, I understand getting a good deal. A $65 palette for $6.99. I completely understand. But, you guys, it's not worth it. But, like I said, you to me, if it was legit, like, legit fake, if that makes any sense, I'm not lying to you. I'm just, that's my wallet speaking. However, the fake palette does have a magnetic closure. The real one does too. But, yeah. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about this palette, this video. How mad does it make you that some of them were so close? Yeah. That's all I have for this one. Let me know what other palette you want me to try. If I'm not mistaken, I think I ordered the Sweet Peach. I think I did. Try to get the cheapest ones. I try to get the cheapest prices. But anyway, yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns about these palettes or anything mentioned in the video, go ahead and leave them down below. I love you all, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.